other. You were born to elevate. It's not about the dollars and dimes we keep in our pockets. Not how we go from losses to profit. It's not about the files and contracts. Serenity is made with contact. I know you know that we can do better. I think it's not a hopeless endeavor. It's not about the files and contracts. Serenity is made with contact. Serenity is made with contact. Serenity is made with contact. It's not about the dollars. I know we can do better. 'Cause you ain't just another. Serenity is made with contact. Seems we got stuck in a daydream. Going blind is following the routine. What if we just stop for a minute and breathe? Why we're all struggling upstream and fighting for a get-rich-quick scheme? What if we forget about the wants and our needs? What have we become? You grow old, you go numb. It's not about the dollars and dimes we keep in our pockets. Not how we go from losses to profit. It's not about the files and contracts. Serenity is made with contact. I know you know that we can do better. I think it's not a hopeless endeavor. It's not about the files and contracts. Serenity is made with contact. No, I'm not the only one getting tired. Stuck in an emotional landslide. What if we just stop for a minute and think? What have we become? It's not about the dollars and dimes we keep in our pockets. Not how we go from life.
Flexibility and mobility, that's what I want, and I bet you do too. But today, let's slow down. Know when to slow down, but most importantly, actually do it. Slow down. Today, that's what we're going to do in our 1 hour long, mostly on the ground yoga practice. But we're also going to have a little bit of a sprinkling of balance thrown in there. So balance is so important. So we're going to do a little bit of that too. But you don't have to if you don't want to, because it's your yoga. You do it your way. As you do it your way, the most important thing is to do what is right for your body. Don't hurt. If something hurts, back out of it. Don't do it. Take it to a lesser percentage. Modify. Or just do it to what makes you feel good, because you don't want to hurt. I'm Jan. This is 316 Yoga. This is Piper's Tail. And this is your yoga from home, where you do it your way, where you modify it and you make it work for you. As you practice today, there's a word I'd like you to think about. The other day we thought about mind, we thought about body. Today we're thinking about spirit. As yoga is the union of those three things. And we say it so much, but don't let it become hackneyed in your mind. So spirit means the essence of who you are. It's your life force. It's that What other element is there in you? Your body, your mind, your spirit. Your spirit makes you you. So your spirit today, let's focus on that. Focus on it with your breath. Take it slowly. It's a new month. And in this month, we're going to take the time to smell the roses. And by that, I mean just taking the time to enjoy. No rush, no hurry, no worries. This is your time on your mat to have a good time. All right, so the props you're going to need for your yoga today are your usual props, your 2 yoga blocks, an eye shade, and a little hand towel. Your strap, if you'd like to use that in our variation of boat today. And that's kind of it. I've got some water too. You might want to have that. You might have your dogs nearby, maybe 2 near. And let's come into our little warm up, shall we? All right, so lock in a stress number. Piper, go get in your bed. Get in your bed. She actually did it. All right, so again, it surprised me. Stress number, lock it in. What's your stress number? On a scale of 1 to 5, 1 to 10, where are you today? Lock that number in and let's bring it on down. In your seated position today, come into a thunderbolt. So this is a big bend on your knees. It's kind of a little precursor to one of the poses we're gonna do, which is called Hero's Pose. But you do what's right for you. So maybe your knees are bent. Maybe you prefer to have your legs extended or sit in that Sassangasana pose with the legs crisscrossed. Hey, why don't you lie down? Or not listen to me. All right, Thunderbolt Pose. Extend your arms high up to the sky. Think extended mountain arms. Just reach, just lift, maybe close your eyes and breathe. You got that stress number locked in. You're starting to bring it on down. Big breath in through your nose. A big sighing breath out through your mouth. Even feel your shoulders come down. Maybe reach with one arm a little higher to the sky and then the other. Just feel the goodness in your hips. Take the time to just feel what you feel. Breathe. And then bring your hands back to your low back and take a big chest forward pose as you take a little back bend. Squeeze your elbows toward your spine. Look up, up, up to the sky. Breathe. Just stay here for a moment. And then when you're ready to exhale, hinge forward, reach your arms forward. Think almost as a child's pose. Your knees are together, your big toes are touching, your arms are reaching to the front of your room. Crown of your head is lengthening to the front of the room. You don't have your chin tucked to your chest looking down at your knees. You're reaching the crown of your head to the front of your room. Inhale, come on back up to a seated position, and then take a side bend. Place one hand on your mat, or if you want, use your block. And then reach one arm across the midline of the body, reaching it to the side of your room. Adjust your foundational elbow as you just sink deeper into this. Top shoulder away from your ear and pull it on back. Chin away from your chest. Maybe slip on down. Keep your legs equally on the mat. Just stretch. Breathe, big breaths. Maybe in through your nose, and sighing breaths out through your mouth. Find length here. No rush, no hurry. As you're ready, slowly press on back up. Even out by lifting both arms up in your extended mountain pose. Take a little back bend. Come on back up to center and then take it to the other side with or without your block. Other arm lifts, other arm is the foundation, and then cross the arm over the midline of the body. Play with the depth here, don't rush. Big breath in, big breath out. We think about our bodies a lot. We think about our bodies maybe too much. We have a distorted image of our bodies. We think about our bodies a lot. And we're always in our head thinking, worrying. How often do we engage with our spirit? Just the essence of who you are. Reach through your fingertips. Send that life force, the prana, the breath, send it deep. Stretch it out. Let the focus be on your spirit as you take the time to smell the roses. Come on up, press on back up. Both arms go up high to the sky. Big breath in. Big breath out. Release your arms down to your legs. Let's take just some little neck turns. Turn your head in one direction, then the other. Just move your neck. And don't rush, don't hurry. Maybe you'd like to just hang out on one side a little bit. Slowly bring it back to center and then take it to the other side. Hang out there a bit, soften in your shoulders. Come on back to the midline of your body. Take a deep breath in and a deep sighing breath out. Now take a twist. Think of both shoulders going to one side of your room. Turn the shoulders. Try to get them to turn equally toward the side of the room. Your hand, opposite hand, comes to your thigh. Take a twist and look over your shoulder. Take a moment here. Let the tension go. Don't worry about the twist. Don't worry about holding on. Just breathe, twist, enjoy, look over your shoulder. Then bring it back to the center nice and slowly. Take a big breath in and a big sighing breath out. Look over your other shoulder. Turn your shoulders to kind of face that side of the room. Take the opposite hand to the opposite outside of the thigh just for a little bit of traction. Bring the one shoulder more to the back of the room and look toward the back of your room. Let the tension go. I think in this kind of twist, we often hold on tightly in the hips. Let it go. Let your shoulders move. You got a range of motion there. Let them move. We're going to do not broken wing. What's the other one that we're going to do? Thread the needle. We're going to do thread the needle in a little bit. All right, come on back to center. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Give yourself a big hug. Tee out your arms nice and wide. Give yourself a big hug with one arm on top and the other on the bottom. Remember which one's on top. So when you hug again, you'll hug with the other arm on top. Bring your fingers towards your spine. Squeeze your shoulders toward the side of the room. Eyes can be closed as you focus inward. Open up your arms nice and wide like you do when you tee them out. When we do that, you will look taller standing pose. Bring the opposite arm on top. You remember which one that would be? Work your fingers toward your spine. Squeeze your shoulders toward the side of the room. Breathe. Nice big hug. And who doesn't need more hugs? And then finish up. Bring your arms down by your sides. All right, so let's come into a child's pose, and we're going to take it a little differently today. So come with your block, kind of at the top of your mat. Have your knees together and your big toes touching. Sink your hips back to your heels and come into a classic child's pose in your low body because your feet are together. And bring your arms down by your sides with your elbows underneath your shoulders. The block at the top of the mat, you can put your forehead on. And if you don't want to use the block, or maybe you have a half-height block, if you're working to get closer to the mat, bring your forehead down, not the crown of your head, bring your forehead down. Breathe here, hollow out your belly on your big exhales. Now come to your breath, the essence of who you are. Your spirit is in your breath. Take a deep breath in through your nose, and maybe close your lips and breathe out through your nose. Breathe and focus on your breath. If you don't want to use the block, that's okay. Bring the forehead down to the mat. I can't do that today. I'm going to bring my block back in. Big breath in, big breath out. We're going to move into a pose called rabbit pose, Sassangasana. All right, for this one, a couple things you can do here. Work your knees a little bit apart. Maybe remove the block. Bring your hands down to your heels. Capture your heels. And then you're going to bring either your forehead down to the mat or the block, holding tightly onto your heels, and then arch your back up to the sky, rolling onto the crown of your head. So your chin is going to get tucked to your chest. You're going to arch your back up to the sky. Really use your feet, really use your arms to arch your back up to the sky and feel that arched back, rolling onto the crown of your head. And then finish. Release your heels And come into a wide-legged child's pose. You know this one, we do this a lot. Knees spread wide, big toes touch, hips go back to your heels. Reach your arms to the top of your mat or to your block. Sink your forehead down to your mat. Unclench your jaws if your teeth are touching. Maybe push the block more forward. Stretch out through the shoulders if you like that. So your legs are spread wide in your wide-legged child's pose. Now spread your knees wider if you want and come into what's called a tadpole pose. How does that feel in your inner thighs? You're stretching them out. It's going to help with hero pose in a little bit. But don't be anxious about it, because you're going to take it in layers and you're going to do exactly what you can do, exactly what you want to do. So this tadpole, next level of evolution is to go to full frog. To do that, if you like, right now your toes are touching. Work them apart, bringing your shins more parallel to the sides of your mat. Breathe through this, don't worry about it. Let the tension in your inner thighs go. So here's your full frog pose. Big breath in and big breath out. You can stay here if you want a little bit longer, but I'm going to press on up to a neutral tabletop position. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees come underneath the hips. Let's do cat-cow. All right, so slow down and breathe and just enjoy. This is, time to savor on your mat. So for your cat-cow, you want to lengthen through the crown of your head and your tailbone so your back is nice and flat. Shoulders are over your wrists, knees are underneath your hips. Kind of press hard into your hands and your feet, almost as if you feel like you're levitating. As you take a big exhale, tuck your chin to your chest, tuck your tailbone under, arch your back up to the sky. Inhale, cow, just the opposite, tailbone and crown of the head lift. So you're moving your neck, you're tucking your spine, tucking the tailbone. Breathe and just enjoy this moment. Don't worry about what's next. Feel what you feel. Let your breath be your guide. Big breaths in your cat-cow pose. Let's finish up in your cat-cow and come back to that neutral tabletop where you really press into the ground. And let's do bird dog pose. Let's begin by lifting your right leg, bringing the knee to about hip height, and then extending through the right leg, driving the heel toward the back of the room. Press into your mat, dial your right hip down, and add in the left arm if you like. Really press into the earth so you can stay stable here. Hand comes down, knee comes down, other side. Arm extends, heel extends. Reach, stretch, push into the earth. Hands come down, take it back to the starting side again. Lengthen, stretch. Hand comes down, knee comes down, other side. Lengthen, stretch. One more time. Arm extends, opposite leg extends, reach. Then the other side, last one, breathe. Come on down, back to your neutral tabletop. Let's thread the needle and let's flow through it. All right, begin by lifting your right arm up to the sky. Look up to your right fingers. As you exhale, bring the right arm under the left, working the shoulder toward the earth. Left arm extends long. Bring the shoulder down as close as you'd like. Maybe use your block and come down to it on your shoulder or your cheek. Reach through the left arm. Adjust your hips. All right, Michelle, you said you were looking forward to shoulders and hips today. Here you go. When you're ready, on your inhale, slide the left arm back to a starting position. Right arm goes high. Breathe. Plant the right arm next to the left. Left side, left arm lifts. Look up to the fingers. Exhale, slide it on through and thread the needle here. Reach the right arm to the top. Left shoulder comes down. You're on your left cheek. Breathe. Reach the fingers a little bit farther in both hands. Inhale, come on back. Right arm to the mat, left arm send it high, look up to it. Plant the hands. Let's do it again. Right arm up to the sky. Look up to the fingers. Exhale. Thread the needle. Reach through both sets of fingertips. Shoulder comes down. Breathe. Nestle in. Inhale. Unthread the needle. Right arm goes high again. Look up, up, up. Plant the right hand. Left arm goes up. Up, up, up. Thread the needle on this side. Breathe. Nestle in. Inhale, unthread the needle, send it back up to the sky. And then plant the hand. Cat, cow, press into the earth, chin to chest, tailbone under. Inhale, cow pose. Come back to a neutral tabletop position. Bird dog, lift the right leg, extend through the heel. Reach through the left arm if that feels good. Think of it as a dance. Left hand comes down, right knee comes down. Extend the left heel long. Maybe that's where you stay, pressing both hands into the earth. It's fine. Maybe the right arm extends and you reach. Plant the right hand, plant the left knee. Cat, cow, tuck your chin to your chest. Inhale, cow pose. Finish up. Let's come onto our backs and let's do Pentacle Pose. All right, just let everything go. Enjoy the getting here. Arms spread, legs spread. Bring your body into a capital letter X shape. Take a deep breath in and a refreshing, sighing breath out perhaps. Sigh it out whenever you need to. Don't be a slave to the keeping the lips shut and doing the Ujjayi pranayama breath. Just get into the flow when it feels right. And then sigh it out and release tension when that feels right. All right, Pentacle Pose. Maybe you want to stay here longer. I'm going to bring my arms down by my sides and press on up and do a wide-legged forward fold. All right, so you can use your blocks here if you want. Legs spread wide. Little bend in your knees feels good. Maybe the blocks are in between your legs. Maybe you bring your forearms down to your blocks. Maybe you bring your forehead down to your blocks. Using your blocks at whatever height is right for you. Just enjoy the pose. There's no judgment. Don't think, oh, I can't get down to one block. I can't get down to no blocks. Nobody's watching. Nobody cares. Don't worry about it. Do what feels good for you. All right, maybe take your hands, reach towards your inner heels, and maybe send your legs a little bit wider. Big breath in, big breath out. Let's slowly press on up, and let's do a half dragonfly. All right, for this one, keep one leg extended long, bend the other one. Bend the other leg, bringing the sole of that foot high up into the thigh. Knee stays down, lengthen up here. Big breath in. And big breath out. You can reintroduce the blocks if you want and fold forward. Just take a moment here. Soften in your shoulders. And don't let your teeth be clenched. Don't clench your jaws. Get some space there. Just breathe and enjoy the movement. Maybe decrease the height of your blocks. Slowly come on back up and let's switch it out. Other leg extends, other leg bends. Bring the sole of the foot to wherever is right for you. Perhaps up to the upper inner thigh. Knee stays down. Reintroduce your blocks if you like. Hello to Christy and Stan, Margaret and Kelly, Linda, Lynn, Liz, how are you? Betty, Michelle, I hope your shoulders and your hips feel better today. This is a good one for your hips too. Tammy, Esther, Karen, Margaret, Rena, Tim, I'm glad that you're here. All right, are you hinging forward yet? Don't rush. I like this saying. If you're rushing towards the next thing or the next moment, what happens to the moment that you're in? It's unfortunate, isn't it? Be in your present moment. Enjoy what you got. Enjoy this feeling right here, right now. Adjust your block height. Let that breath swirl within you as it makes you looser in your hips and your shoulders. Come to where it's right for you right now. When you're ready, slowly press on up. Let's come out of this pose and let's come back to a pentacle. So send your legs long. Find your strap though and bring it up with you to your shoulders. All right, so come on down, pentacle pose. Enjoy the getting here. Legs are long, arms go high. Capital letter X, breathe. Let your pinky toes fall more to the edges of your mat. Maybe reach through your fingers a little bit more. Chest is open to the sky. Big breath in, belly rises up. Big breath out, let it go. Now bound angle with your feet. Bend your knees, bring the soles of your feet to touch, and open up your knees to the sides of the room. Heels can be up closer to your groin or further away. You adjust to make it feel good for you. Now your pentacle arms, let's bend the elbows, bringing the elbows to about shoulder height, pressing your forearms into the mat with your fingers spread wide and your palms up. So here's your little reclined goddess pose. Breathe here. Chest is lifted. Soften in your glutes. You know, you hold on to tightness sometimes. You don't even realize it. Are your glutes clenched? Release. Soften. Let your knees open more to the earth as you breathe deeply. Unfurl your eyebrows. No squinched face. Just let it be. And breathe. Now bring your arms down by your sides. Find that strap. Send your legs bent and bring the strap underneath. Send your legs bent, you know what I mean. Bring your strap underneath your feet. Send your feet up to the sky. Lift them up to the sky and hold onto the strap like reins of a horse. Give them a nice little tug. Maybe a bend in your knees feels good. Now when you're ready, let your heels be heavy as they come toward the earth. Tuck your chin, roll on up. Try to take it at like one nice, slow, consistent speed as you come on up to your boat pose. Take a variation that is good for you. If you don't have a strap, that's fine. You know, you could also be down on your forearms, elbows underneath your shoulders, and then lift one leg or the other. Just hold here. Now your shoulders, bring your attention to those. Squeeze your shoulders toward your spine as you have a nice flat back. And hold here. Play with the height of your feet. Maybe lower them a little bit. How's that? Maybe bring them on back up. It's all good. Hold here. Maybe lean back a little bit more. Keep your balance here. Drive through your heels. Chest is forward, shoulders are back. Now put a smile on your face. I know it sounds silly, but it helps. It helps your spirit. You know, sometimes you might not feel like it, but put the smile on your face and the rest will follow. Hold here. And when you're ready, come on down. Heels come down. Hinge forward slightly. Walk your hands down your strap. Gaze to your knees. Take this gentle little forward fold. With each inhale, you know, your belly fills up, so your shoulders come up a little bit away from the legs. And then with each exhale, hollow out your belly and bring your forehead closer to your knees. Finish up. Remove your strap. Let's come into that hero's pose. All right, so what you want to do is come to your knees, place a block at whatever height between your heels and have a seat. So your knees, keep them down on the mat. If they're not down on the mat, this is probably where you want to stay, or maybe introduce a second block as you sit here. Your bottom is between your heels. Heels are kind of at the edges of your hips. You can stay right here. If that is pretty easy, maybe reduce the height of your block, but just be sure that your knees are still down on your mat. Maybe go to a half height block. Maybe sink your bottom down to your mat, keeping the knees bent and heels up close to your hips. Now, you could use both blocks, bring your hands onto them, and think of your chest lifting up to the sky. Keep your bottom down on the mat though, and keep your knees down too. Maybe this is right where you stay. If you want to remove the blocks, and come down to your hands, or come down to your forearms, or come all the way down to your shoulders. Keep your knees down. Breathe here, big stretch in your quadriceps. Maybe your arms, it might feel good to lift them up overhead, kind of like your Tadasana, extended mountain arms. Maybe bend your elbows, bringing hands to opposite elbow creases like those ragdoll arms, and just stay here. All right, so here's the deal. This is pretty much an all-seated practice, but I've thrown in a little sprinkling of balance for those of us that want to daily work on our balancing. So we're going to go to balancing next, but if you would like to stay in this hero's pose, this is a great pose in which to stay for a longer period of time. If you'd like to stay here longer or transition to your Pentacle Pose, you know that one, the big capital letter X, you can do that. We're going to do 3 standing balancing poses next. So you decide, make this work for you. All right, I'm going to come out of my hero's pose, bringing my hands down to my feet, and then slowly pressing up to my elbows and my hands, coming out of this pose and getting there via a downward facing dog. So I'm going to press my hands into my mat, tuck my toes towards my shins, press on up to a down dog. In your down dog, you know this, feet hip width distance apart, hands shoulder width distance apart, and fingers spread wide. Heels slightly elevated, adjust for your height, everybody's different, and then gaze back to your ankles or your knees or up towards your navel. Pedal out your feet slightly, stretching the backs of your legs, pushing into your mat, lifting your tailbone up toward the sky. And I think a real common thing people want to do here is hold the tension in their neck by either looking forward or just not letting their neck go. Let your neck go by looking to your knees or your navel. Shake your head as well. Walk your hands back to meet your feet. Sweep your arms on up. Let's do our first balancing pose. It's going to be that you will look taller pose. So feet are rooted. Bring your body into the letter Y. Arms are spread. You will look taller. First letter of each word. Big capital letter Y. Press the backs of your hands to the back of the room. Oh yeah, press them to the back of the room. Feel your chest lift. Bring your elbows down to create a letter W with your arms. Bring your elbows in to create a forward and a backward L in your arms for the word look. Now tee out your arms. Gently pulse the backs of the hands to the back of the room for the word T. The word T. The letter T for the word taller. Let's do it again. Close your eyes and enjoy. You will look taller. Again, big letter Y, slow down. Big letter W, calm down. Big letter L, don't worry. Big letter T, don't hurry. One more time on your own. You will look taller. Pulse them out. Finish up, arms float down by your sides, shoulders are soft, maybe eyes remain closed. Feel how you feel. Don't you feel taller, more erect, more standing up straight? Crown of the head is up toward the sky, feet are rooted into your mat. Let's do tree. Bring your hands to prayer center. Gently blink your eyes open. Right leg, open it up to the side of the room. If you're staying in hero's pose, how are you feeling? Breathe. You can always come into your Pentacle Pose to keep it a reclined practice. Bring your foot, if you're in tree, to wherever is right for you. Just avoid putting the foot directly on the knee. That is not where it is supposed to go, because knees aren't meant to bend sideways. Open up the knee, hands to prayer center, look up to where your ceiling and the wall meet. Grow your branches if you like. sway them. Breathe. Maybe close your eyes a little bit or take a long blink as you find your balance. Hands to prayer center. Bring your right foot down to meet your left. Let it go. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Other side, root into your other foot. Open up the other knee. Bring the sole of the foot wherever is right for you. I've got 2 mats down today, so I'm going to step off my mat. It's really cushy. You know, that's something to consider. All right, come into your tree pose. However you want to do it. Push the foot into the leg, leg into the foot. You know, if you have 1 mat or 2, you might want to stack them. Some days when we are down on the mat a lot, grow your branches, you might want to have 2 mats down. The extra cushioning is really nice on your back. Or on your knees when we're on our knee position. And go ahead and close your eyes if you like. Take a long blink. And you may want to step off that cushy mat when we do our balancing practices. Bring your hands back to first center. Guide the knee to the front. Plant the right foot next to the left. Another balancing pose. Then we'll all meet back on the mat. But find your 2 blocks. So this is going to be a slight little inversion. So it's going to feel good. It's going to rush blood to your head, which is a good thing, right? All right, so spread your legs wide. Bring your pinky toes to the sides of your mat. Bring your 2 blocks, stack them up, maybe at a stable height. Spread your legs wide, pinky toes toward the edges of your mat. Tee out your arms, Pasarita Padahastasana, and we're going to rest our forehead and the crown of our head on these blocks. Reach through your fingers, chest lifts, breathe, and then fold forward. As you fold forward and your back comes flat, take your arms and then place them behind your calves. Hinge forward, and then, move your blocks. You're going to have to use your hands, obviously. Move your blocks so they're a little closer. Pull on your calves and bring maybe your forehead down to the blocks. Then maybe work the crown of your head towards your blocks. So 2 blocks, maybe I can do 1. So I'm going to reduce the height. Hinge forward. I'm resting my head, kind of like you'd have the confidence in crow pose when you do that. Maybe lower the height of the block even more. Maybe you can spread your feet a little wider. Hold onto your calves. Hinge forward. Maybe forehead, maybe crown of your head to your blocks. And then try, if you got your head on the block, you've got the confidence of it there, maybe lift your heels up a little bit and send more weight into your toes. So you feel a slight little inversion maybe. And if you don't feel comfortable having your hands on your calves, move them forward like you're going to do a handstand and bring your hands out to the sides of those blocks and then more weight of your head into the block as you hinge forward, taking the weight out of your heels. And just have fun here. Just play with it for a moment or 2. Feel more weight into your head and your arms. And then let's finish. Heels come down. Maybe tee out your arms, or maybe you want to hold onto your calves a little bit. Tee them out. Come on back up to standing. How was that? Hands to prayer center. Bring your feet together. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Now let's all meet back on our mat. So if you're standing, fold forward, look back to your knees, bend your knees, come on down to your knees, and let's do a bridge pose. Did you like that little variation of your Pasarita Padahastasana? A little bit of an inversion. Rush the blood to your head. Let it feel good. All right, so bridge pose. Come on down to your back. Knees are bent. Heels up towards your bottom. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Sigh it out. Let it go. All right, hands are down by your sides. When you're ready, press the weight into your feet and lift your hips up to the sky. Lift them up and hold it here. Your shoulders, wiggle them closer to your spine. Press through your feet, lifting your hips, arms down by your sides. Take your hands, if you'd like, and interlace them behind your low back. Press your pinkies down to your mat and give your hips a little extra oomph here. Breathe. Remove your hands down by your sides and roll your spine down 1 vertebra at a time. And then bring your tailbone down last. Let it go. Another variation here. Those blocks, bring your block between your knees or your thighs. Maybe between the knees, give them a nice squeeze. Arms down by your sides. Let's press back up into our bridge pose here. Squeeze the block, lift your thighs, press into your feet, hips are up, wiggle your shoulders closer to your spine, interlace your fingers, press your pinkies down to the mat if you like. Totally fine to keep your arms down by your sides too. Breathe, hips are high, squeeze. Release your hands, slowly roll your spine down one vertebra at a time. Remove the block from between your knees. Stay in your bridge pose, hands down by your sides. One more time. Press up into your feet. Hips go high up to the sky. Bring your heels a teeny bit closer to your bottom. Hips are high. Stay right here. So what are you squeezing? Are your glutes really tightly squeezed? Soften them and get the power in your legs. Push your feet into the mat. Try to let your glutes relax a little bit. Now switch it up. Squeeze your glutes tight. Lift your bridge higher and try to kind of sort of let the thighs relax, but the power is coming from your glutes. Soften in the glutes. Press through the legs. Nice strong thighs. Now press through the glutes. Take your hands, push your glutes up even higher and hold here in your bridge. With your toes, work your toes, the balls of your feet back to your hips. Press through your balls of your feet as you lift your hips high. Stay right here. Bring your heels on down, wiggle your feet a little bit away, and then roll your spine down one vertebra at a time, all the way down to your mat. How was that? That's a lot of bridge pose. All right, let's come back to pentacle. Legs go long, heels toward the edges of your mat. Arms go high, capital letter X. Enjoy the moment. Big breath in and big breath out. Bring your arms down by your sides, roll onto your right hip, and let's press on up to a side plank. All right, so right arm's going to be your foundation. Right knee can stay on the ground. Left leg extends. Maybe reach your left arm high, press into your mat, and hold right here. You could also take this into a full side plank in its fullest expression. That would be extending your bottom leg, stacking your ankles, pressing through your right hand and lifting your left arm. Top leg could also be a kickstand. That's all right to do too. So stay in whichever variation you're in. I'm going back to my knee because we're holding this for a while. Breathe. You're strong. You got it. The top arm that's reaching to the ceiling, let it reach to the front of your room. So think of one straight line from your left fingertips all the way through your left heel. Stretch, reach, you got it. Plant the knees. Let's come on to the other side for a side plank on this side. So left knee can be your foundation. Right leg can extend. Left arm is your foundation. Shoulder over wrist. Raise your right arm up to the sky. Breathe here. Take the variation that you like. That could be the left leg is extended as well. Ankles stacked. Find your balance here as you press into your mat. Remember, it's always an option. You could take that foot that's on top and just kind of add a little balance there. Breathe. Look up towards your hands, your right hand a little bit more. When you're ready, Reach the top arm to the front of your room. Drive through your right heel and your right fingertips, creating one straight line as best you can from fingertips to toes. Big breath in and big breath out. Hands come down to meet on your mat. Time for cat-cow. Press into your hands. Press the tops of your feet into your mat. Cat pose. Cow pose. Do a couple of these. Your spine deserves it. Breathe. And when you're ready, let's slip on down to our bellies. All right, so you're going to come on down to your belly. Let's think Superman pose. Let your arms go long to the top of your mat. Chin, nose, forehead, something like that, down to your mat. Legs spread so that the tops of your feet are at the edges of your mat. Let's do Superman. Take it in layers. Maybe you'd like to begin by lifting one leg, then the other. And trust me, if this is all you do, don't be discouraged. Don't think, oh, I can't do any more. This is huge. Really good for strengthening your low back. Probably didn't have to tell you that because you can really feel it in the low back. If you'd like, you can combine it and lift both legs at the same time. And just hold it here. Legs can come down, and you can do the same thing with your arms. Maybe lift one arm, then the other. Maybe lift both arms. Maybe put it all together and fly like Superman, lifting the arms and the legs up, breathing, reaching through your fingertips and through your toes. Chest lifts a little bit more maybe. Hold here. Let's sweep the arms back to a locust pose. Fingers are reaching towards your heels, palms are face down. Hold it here, maybe lift and fly a little higher. Go back to your Superman or your variation. Arms sweep back, think like a locust flying. Arms reach, chest lifts. Come back to your Superman, reach, reach. Fly it on back and lift it on up. And then come on down. Hands underneath your collarbones. Press on up to your beloved seal pose if that feels good. Now your glutes really clenched, soften them. Think of broadening through the hips to the side of your room. Breathe. And then when you're ready, press on up. And let's take our blocks, 2 blocks. Come on down to seated. You got 2 blocks in your hands. Bring your shoulders on down. Press your hips on up to the sky in a bridge pose. And slip both blocks underneath your low back. It's pretty high, isn't it? If you don't like that, you can do it on 1 block. Totally fine. Let's send one leg high up to the sky. Check in with your blocks. Make sure they're comfortable. And then slip the other leg on up to the sky. So hold on to your blocks so they feel right for you. Legs are lifted high to the sky. Maybe you decide to use 1 block or no blocks at all in this little modified legs up the wall pose. So stay here for a moment, more than a moment. How do those blocks feel? Mine feel a little unstable. You could bring your hands down by your sides. Hold on to your blocks, let your shoulders relax. And think of your legs almost as weightless. Unclench your jaws if your teeth are touching. Breathe. So, when we did our Pasarita Padahastasana and played with the block and bringing our forehead to the blocks, kind of let the blood rush to your head. So this is kind of similar, right? Legs are lifted. The blood is coming back up this way, coming up towards your trunk, towards your head. Let it feel good. You can wiggle your ankles in one direction and then try to circle them in the other direction with the same amount of dexterity. When you're ready, point your toes up to the sky, and then maybe think a little bit of a scissor kick, drawing one foot closer or higher to the sky and the other foot closer to the ground. Doesn't have to touch down. You just play with it here and just be aware of your body. Lift both legs up to the sky. Work one leg closer to your head and the other leg kind of like a big scissor kick. Work it on down, down, down toward the ground. Doesn't have to come far. Doesn't have to come very close. You let it go to what feels right. Both legs back up and scissor kick it a few times here. Scissor kick sounds too intense. Just think of sending the legs like in the letter V. And maybe you take it as just far as is right for you. And if you don't like the 2 blocks, switch it to 1. Ground seems really far away, doesn't it? Just play with it. You've got great mobility, great flexibility in your body. Nourish it by doing your yoga every single day. Even if it's just a ragdoll pose or just a legs up the wall. Just a little bit, just 5 minutes a day. Whatever you can squeeze in, just don't be a stranger to your mat. So even out with your legs. I don't even know which one I started on. Circle your ankles, keep them together. Circle your ankles in one direction. Ankles are glued together at the center. Circle them in the other direction. And as you're ready, bend your knees. Bring the soles of your feet down, down, down to your mat. Think a really supported bridge pose here. Knees are hip-width distance apart. Soles of your feet are on your mat. That should feel pretty good. Breathe here. Arms down by your sides. Press the weight into your feet. Lift your hips up off of whatever block arrangement you had. And then slowly lower your spine down, one vertebra at a time. Really be aware of that. Keeping your tailbone tucked, that means keeping your navel really sucked into your spine. When you think you're all the way down, then release the tailbone to the mat. Extend your left leg long. Bend your right knee and hug it in for a supine twist. Hug the knee in tightly. Left leg is long, calf is on your mat. Drive the heel of the left foot closer to the bottom of your mat. Hug your knee in and just stay here for a moment and enjoy this feeling. You have mobility in your hips. Maybe it's been elusive, but you're gonna find it in your yoga. Deep breath in, deep breath out to soften your shoulders. Let's do the twist part here. Left hand guides the right knee across the midline of your body as you roll onto your left hip. Keep your right shoulder down. The left hand is encouraging the right knee to the left side of the body. You don't have to go very far. In fact, if your blocks are close by, which they may be when we just did that bridge pose, maybe you can bring a knee to rest on the block. Maybe that feels more comfortable to you. Tee out your right arm, gaze to the right. And don't feel you got to get that knee down to the ground. It's more important you keep the right shoulder down and just enjoy the little twist. Finish up in your twist, bringing your right hip down. Hug your right knee in. Circle your ankle in one direction, then the other direction. Let your right leg go long on your mat. Maybe bring your block to the other side to support your knee. Draw your left knee up towards your chest. Interlaced fingers hug under the knee, or you could use your towel to kind of extend your arms and hug your knee in here. Keep your shoulders down. Hug it in even more. There's more space there. Shoulders are soft, your eyebrows are soft. Right heel drives to the bottom of your mat as you feel length in the front of your right hip. Right hand guides the left knee across the midline of your body. Maybe if that block is there, you can kind of just work the knee to the block, or 2 blocks, or whatever feels supported, knowing that the ground is really, really close. You know, sometimes I think we think, oh, the ground is so far away, I'm just holding on. And it's really closer than you think, and that'd be that surrender. You know, let it go. Keep your left shoulder down, tee out your left arm, and look to your left. Big breath in. Big surrendering breath out. Gaze goes back up to the sky. Left heel comes back down to the ground. Hug your left knee in again. Soften in your shoulders. Send your left leg long. Drive your heels toward the earth. Drive your heels toward the bottom of your mat, so both calves are plugged in. And then drag both heels up using your strong core, bringing the knees up toward your chest. Left hand under left knee, right hand under right knee. Curl those knees, pull those knees up, up, up toward your chest, and then tuck your chin to your chest, lift your shoulders up, maybe kiss your knees, or at least roll into a tight little yogi ball. Come on down. Legs go long. Breathe. Pentacle Pose. Arms high overhead. Legs spread wide. Let everything go. Release everything, every bit of tension, every bit of holding on. As you come back to the midline of your body, everything is equal and balanced in your body, in your mind, and most importantly, in your soul. You can stay in Pentacle today for your final resting pose, or come into your final Shavasana by bringing your heels in a little bit more, kind of back onto your mat. Maybe find your eye shade or your little towel. And let's rest here. Cover the eyes with the eye shade or the towel. Arms can be any way you like, down by your sides, whatever is just a comfortable release for you. Don't be so held tightly in the thought of doing it right. What is right? Right is what feels good for you. All of these poses, there's options for them, there's alternatives. You do what works for you. If you don't like having your palms face up, you can flip your hands so your palms are face down and you can just feel the earth and get grounded here. Maybe let your pinky toes open a little wider to the sides of your mat. Shoulders are soft and away from your ears. Breathe deeply and let everything go for the next several minutes. Soften your face a little bit more. Let go of the tension in your shoulders. Soften the area between your eyebrows a little bit more. Deepen your breath. Big breaths in and big breaths out. If you have time in your day, stay here a little bit longer. If it's time for you to get on with your day, all right, let's start with our neck. Turn your head from right to left, kind of feeling the nice little skull massage at the back of your head. Just turn your neck, right, left, right. Just let it feel good. We had the blood rush to our head in several different poses today in that Pasarita Parahastasana, where we brought our head down to the block and took the weight out of our heels. And also in the modified legs up the block, I should say, legs up the wall pose. So turn your head left to right. How does it feel in your neck? Enjoy the skull massage. And then finish up, bring your head back to the midline of your body. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Squeeze your fingers towards your palm and squeeze your toes toward the sole of your foot. Really a tight squeeze. And then burst them open. Fingers spread wide, toes spread wide. Really spread them wide. Try to get the pinky toes and all the toes away from each other. Bring your hands into a clenched fist and toes clenched as well. Open them up really super wide. And then release to a natural position. And then take that good morning stretch. Reach and point through your fingertips. Point through your fingers. Point through the toes. Just stretch it out. Wiggle your hips. Sigh it out and bend your elbows and your knees and roll into a fetal position onto one side or the other. On your hip, and then your low arm, place your head on that bicep. Eyes are closed. Savor the moment. Be in this moment with a deep cycle of breath. As you're ready, maybe you'd like to keep your eyes closed and press on up to a comfortable seated position, whatever feels comfortable for you right now. Hands to prayer center. Press your thumbs slightly into your chest. Lengthen up through that great postured spine of yours with that you will look taller pose. You've got good posture. Lengthen up. Exhale, soften up, an important component of your breath. Soften the shoulders, root into the solid foundation beneath you. Another big breath in, and then a big sighing breath out as you blink your eyes open. Let it go. You did it. Awesome work. You did an hour-long practice. We shook it up lots of different ways today. Now, do that little assessment. How do you feel in your body? That stress number you had back then. What is it now? I hope you feel a lot better in your body. And I really like what this says, and just kind of think about this today. If you're always rushing toward the next moment, and kind of who isn't? If you're always rushing toward the next moment, what happens to the moment you're in? Enjoy your life. Take time to smell the roses and come back to your mat tomorrow. Peace be with you. Oh, gosh, I'm late. Bye. Hey, you. Good girl. How are you? Did you have fun with your yoga today? Did you have fun? You were a good girl. Yes, you were. Good girl. Good girl. What do you want to do? Whatever makes your soul happy, do that. And hopefully it's your yoga, because doesn't the yoga bring your body, your mind, and your soul together? I hope so, and I wish the best for you always. So stick with your yoga. And let your friends know about your yoga. Let them know the positive influence it's had in your life, because it certainly does. Share our yoga with them. It's free for anybody and everybody, and they can do it from the privacy of their own home. So no excuses. Get on it, everybody. You need to do your yoga. If you'd like to support our broadcast, you can visit our website. It's www.316yoga.com. I hope to see you on your mat tomorrow, and bring a couple buddies with you. See you there.